Today our topic is going to be the minutes of the meeting. These minutes are a very useful, a very good kind of thing, and I think most of you may be knowing that these are the details which are written after the meeting is over, and as a result, we people are able to remember or remind ourselves what had happened there and what type of decisions can be taken on the basis of these minutes. The word minute is used in many senses, like it can be used as minutes also, where we say very little things, and after that it is minute of the time also, and then it is here minutes of the meeting. Well, I would say that it is actually what little bits of the meeting are there. That word minutes of the meeting goes to meaning, but in general, it is the kind of details that mention what had happened in the meeting. And today's topic is going to cover what these minutes of the meeting are and why do we have them, what is the reason behind that. So in this way, minutes of the meeting is the topic of the day, the minutes of the meeting. Let's go forward and see. We don't need to read this outline, and let's go direct to the definition of minutes of the meeting. Minutes of the meeting are a written record of what took place at the meeting. Taylor says in 2004. This is what I already explained, that a minutes of the meeting are in fact the details or the record of those details of the things which have been discussed, the things which have been talked about, the things which have been referred about inside the meeting, that may be called the minutes of the meeting. Then again, Sylvester in 2014 says minutes are the official record of an organization. It is crucial that they are accurate since they are the legal record of the proceedings and the actions of the organization. So this is a different way of talking about the minutes. The things which happen inside the meetings, the decisions which are taken inside the meetings, if they are turned into an official record, that also becomes the minutes of the meeting. And lastly, we can say minutes should be written in the past tense using third person and reported speech. Three things are important in the statement: that minutes of the meeting are never written in future or in present, but the minutes of the meeting are written in the past tense, like he said, she said. And when I say he said, she said, it means that the third person is being used, not I, not we. It is the third person that is used there. And it's written also in the reported speech. I mean, no inverted commas used, and mostly it is written in the reported speech. So that is called as the kind of definition of the minutes of the meeting. How to plan for the minutes of the meeting? Planning of the meeting of the minutes begins with drawing up an agenda, circulating a notice. All the time we know that when a meeting is held at that time, first of all, it is decided what will be talked about or discussed in the meeting, and that is called as the agenda of the meeting. And after that, secondly, before the start of the meeting, the same agenda or the same topic is distributed or circulated among the concerned and relative people. So that are the two basic points here. What it should include: it should include the name of organization, title of the meeting, with whom the meeting is to be held, date, time and venue, the place of the meeting. And main agenda is what minutes of the last meeting, what had happened in the last meeting that is connected with the current meeting, matters arising from last minutes, the decisions that were taken in the last meeting, and they are referred in the minutes, opening new branches, and then of course if something new is to be done, disciplinary issues of some employees are not working well, that can be included in that, and any other business, A or B, that is also included, other than the main business, date of the next meeting, and the next meeting is also decided into that. So these are some of the plans which are conducted, or the points of the plan which are conducted before the meeting begins, or the minutes of the meeting are written. These are the things which are taken care of. Let's go next, types of minutes of the meeting. There are basically three types. Number one, verbatim. Number two, minutes of the resolution. Number three, minutes of the narration. How about verbatim? These are used primarily in court reporting, where everything needs to be recorded word for word. It means literally whatever the thing has happened in the meeting, it is written. No word is skipped. Nothing is added. Nothing is removed. So verbatim means to write exactly what had happened in the meeting. Minutes of the resolution, then come the resolution minutes. These record only the main resolutions are reached. They are common in AGMs and other statutory meetings. That purchase of new printer, for example, the secretary submitted report on the purchase of new LaserJet printer. It was resolved that LaserJet 2055 be purchased at a cost of Rs 1500. So these are the minutes where only main things are talked about, which are important, and that is why the name has been given the minutes of the resolution. Then minutes of narration. These are a concise summary of all the discussion that took place, reports received, decision made, and action to be taken. It's self-evidentary that minutes of the narration type are where we write everything. What discussion was taking place, regardless of the fact discussion was relevant or not. Then the reports, what report came and what were opened, and then ultimately what decisions were made and the actions were taken. Everything is described there. That is called as the minutes of narration. So types of the minute include verbatim, resolution, and narration. Three types. So it can be used for any short question in order to describe what are the three types of minutes of the meeting. Then comes the feature of minutes of the meeting. As discussed already, that the things which are written on the left hand, for example here, these are some of the important features we have already talked about, that the minutes should include the name of organization, the title of the meeting, date, time, venue, and attendees, apologies for absence if somebody is there, minutes of the last meeting, matters arising from the last meeting, then opening new branches, etc., etc. These are the things which are important features of the minutes of the meeting. I mean, these things should be talked about. And here I have included, rather in the PPT, it is already included by someone. 2 pages are there where the examples of these features of the minutes have been given. Students, if you want, you can enlarge the size and view what is going on inside that. There are still different styles of writing the minutes of the meeting. One, for example, here the very first one, it is going to be the style of the minutes of the meeting where narrative under different heading continues, and this is the style of the minutes of the meeting where we most of the time do what, that we make sections of the things, and under each section everything comes, and lastly we have meetings in very organized way. Different parts of the minutes of the meeting are taken in separately, little blocks are made, and there we talked about. So these are three styles of writing of the minutes of the meeting. Okay. And then come some terminologies which are mostly used in the minutes of the meeting. For example, ad hoc. This word means especially for the purpose of. Adjourn means to finish. Adopt minutes mean when minutes are accepted. Minutes when everybody agrees to that, it is adopting. Consensus, general agreement, means that. Convene, to call for the meeting. Motion means a proposal at the meeting. Though motion means movement also, but here it means proposal to a meeting. Propose, to suggest. Oppose, to go against. And quorum, that is a number of people needed to be in the attendance for a meeting. Sometimes it happens that the members of a committee are 10, but quorum is required 7. So that quorum means that number of people which are minimum required in order to continue the meeting. That is called as the quorum. So these are some of the words which are used frequently in writing of the minutes of the meeting. So students should know that, and they should also prepare these things, that what are the important vocabulary words, vocabulary items which are necessary to be used in the minutes of the meeting. In the minutes of the meeting, certain things should not be used. For example, the opinion or interpretation of the secretary. Secretary should not intervene himself while writing the minutes of the meeting. He shouldn't say anything from himself. He shouldn't try to interpret anything from himself. Judgmental phrases, heated debate, valuable comment, no personal judgmental phrases should be used. Discussion. Minutes are a record of what was done at the meeting, not what was said at the meeting, right? So therefore, it has to be said in that way, what happened in the meeting, not in the who said this one or that one. Motion that were withdrawn. Some of the things which have been withdrawn should not be mentioned. Name of the seconder is unnecessary. Same is the case with the, if somebody proposes a motion and somebody seconds it, it's not necessary the name of that person should be mentioned. So these are some of the things which should be avoided. And thank you very much for watching. So this was the whole very small video lecture on the minutes of the meeting, and I hope the students have understood up to some extent. More things will be clear from the notes which I will be sharing with you people. So thank you very much for watching all that, and that's it from me for this day.